Good morning, Darren Daily community. We are in the final week of our Thanksgiving Jamboree. Let me bring Allie on this morning so we can have a little fun before we officially get started here in about 10 minutes. Good morning, Allie. How are you this pre-turkey day?
Oh, good morning. I am doing great. And before anyone asks, my husband is home today, so we do not have an intern next to us that I have to pass puffs and anything that can help keep her quiet. But I will say she escapes him sometimes. So you know that BBC thing that happened where the kid is like crawling in the room
Yes.
and the wife is on her knees trying to catch the kid. That could happen. We could have a BBC moment still. So just forewarn you.
You know, at this point, that was a couple years ago, right? That was before everybody started working from home. So at this point, I think if that happened to you right now, everybody would be like, nah, no big deal. Happened to me yesterday.
It's standard practice now.
Yes. Okay, so I have a fun fact for you today. Did you know that today is officially Drinks Giving Day? Now, I didn't actually believe this and or know what it was, so I totally had to Google it. Seriously. I got to read this to you because it cracks me up. This is what I found. So Drinks Giving may have an unofficial history, but if you're doing it right, nothing gets recorded or remembered for that matter. So apparently I'm missing out on some holiday here.
That is too good. And you're not going to believe this either, but I have to tell you, I don't know if this is just a Midwest thing or what, but we call today Blackout Wednesday. So that's concerning, but I'm feeling really proud right now.
You might need to be a little concerned with that one. Well, okay. I personally am not celebrating Drinksgiving today, but I am looking forward to our weekly huddle this afternoon, which has been moved up. It's usually on Fridays, but it's happening today because I hear that it has a Thanksgiving theme, and without fail, I think that means that we're going to get some of AT member Kylie's classic, awesome, totally corny jokes.
Okay, so Kylie is the queen of corny jokes. FYI, Kylie, if you're listening, we have expectations coming in today's huddle. So
Totally.
If you haven't prepared any corny jokes yet, you still have time.
So in honor of Kylie's awesomeness for bringing down the house and our meetings every time with her jokes, because I absolutely love them, I thought I'd share a few of my own this morning to warm everybody up. So are you ready?
Oh, I was born ready.
I believe that. Okay. All right. Why did the farmer run a steamroller over his potato field on Thanksgiving Day?
Oh, am I supposed to participate? Okay, why? Okay, I'll participate. Sorry. Why?
Oh, you're making me feel really good here, Allie. He wanted to raise mashed potatoes. I need Darren's sound effects from Friday Funnies.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another one for you. What do you call a running turkey?
I haven't the foggiest idea.
Fast food.
Fast food. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, that's a good one.
Okay. All right. I got okay. One more because I can't steal all of Kylie's material. That would be really bad. Love you, Kylie. Seriously. Okay. So why did the turkey cross the road?
I don't know.
It was Thanksgiving Day, and he wanted people to think he was a chicken.
That sweet little turkey. I can get on board with that. Okay, I'm behind him on that one. I don't know about you, Mariana, but this Thanksgiving in particular, like I'm feeling extra grateful. We have so many joys in our life. I'm feeling so grateful for the people in my life, and this community right here is something that I am so very grateful for. I can tell you that my life has been forever impacted by the wonderful people that we get to connect with every single day, the people that we get to work with every day in the community and on the A team. So Darren doesn't know that we did this, but we thought that it would be extra special to have some of the A team members share what they're grateful for about this community, about being on the A team, and of course what they love about Darren himself. So we have a few moments. Let's just share some of those if you're with me.
Yes, totally.
Okay. First up, this one is from Julie. Many of our wonderful clients know our sweet and precious Julie. She says, I love to wake up every morning and not only hear Darren's pearls of wisdom, but to start each day off to make a positive impact. and to read the comments each morning in our Darren Daily Tribe. So yes, we read them all, and we talk about them on the A Team too, and the wonderful comments that we see and the people that we get to witness the stories in your lives. She says, I feel really touched every day by the amazing stories that people share every day. And most days I tear up at least once, and I believe that.
Totally. She's our queen of love, legit. So that doesn't surprise me in the least. So I have one from Kylie, and she says, I really appreciate Darren's caring heart as a leader. Over the past 5.5 years, he's inspired me to live up to our better everyday philosophy. But even more importantly, he's always there to help, guide, and support whenever times get a little tough, personally or professionally. I am so grateful for that. I think each of us can attest to that one.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I have one from Maggie. Many of you know Maggie as well. She says, I love Darren's authenticity. He's got no freaking filter. That's true. She says, I love knowing that Darren is exactly who he is on stage and off stage. He has made working with him all these years so much more enjoyable.
Yes, definitely no filter, but that I'm with Maggie. That's one of the things I've loved about him for the 11 years that I've known this man. It's my favorite thing. It's my least favorite thing. It's my favorite. It just depends on the day. It's always a good thing. So I have one from Brenda that says, why I love Darren Daily. And she goes, that's easy. The Darren Daily community is a group of our people. They not only listen in to Darren, but take action. They also lift each other up and encourage those that need it most. So true. We absolutely love that about you guys. I know for me, it's not only helped in my work, but in my personal life as well. So many things I could say, but this community pushes me to be better every day.
Yes. I have one from Sarah. She says, I love the injection of positivity from Darren Daily. It's the absolute best way to start my day. Sometimes I laugh, sometimes I cry, but I always feel ready to tackle the day. And Darren is such a great storyteller. He makes me strive to be better.
It's no wonder she and Julie work well together. It's two peas in a pod, seriously.
Yeah.
All right, I have one from Chris, and he says, I love that I'm able to work with the most talented and dedicated team members. This is not just a job. Everyone wants to make an impact. It's also nice to be part of such a small team that other organizations aspire to be like. Being a member of the Darren Hardy A-Team is an honor and a privilege.
Yes, I second that, Chris, for sure. I have one from Shannon. She says, no doubt Darren is honest. He owns up when he's wrong. That is true. Yes, he does. He has tons of creative energy. And most important, he is an emotionally intelligent leader.
For sure. All right. So I have one from one of our unicorn members, Sabrina. One thing that I appreciate about Darren is that he genuinely, I can't talk this morning. All right. One thing Sabrina says, one thing that I appreciate about Darren is that he genuinely wants us to be the best version of ourselves and will call us out when we aren't playing big enough. His jokes aren't bad either.
That's true. Mariana, have you been participating in Drinks Giving / Blackout Wednesday?
I swear I have not.
Okay, just checking. All right. Everyone was wondering. So I have one from Maisie. She says, Darren doesn't just talk. He actually walks the walk. He is the definition of a great leader. He empowers us to grow and lead in our roles on the A-Team. And I am truly thankful for the growth that I have experienced personally and professionally while being on this wonderful journey with him and the A-Team.
So I think we have time for maybe two more, but I have one from Mary, and she says that I am grateful for Darren's genuine leadership. Even though he seems to be a tough guy, he's got a sensitive soul and one of the biggest hearts anyone could ask for in a leader. He truly cares about each one of us on the A-Team. He will give us the pushbacks that we need to become a better version of ourselves. Myself and my family are who we are today because of him and his work. Thank you for always cheering us on and pushing us to be more. Oh, we have a few more, but we better get started because if we're late, I'm never going to hear the end of it. So we will share the rest of these on social at some point, Allie. So everybody can chime in and say what they're grateful for today and tomorrow. But for now, I think that this was such a great way to get started on our final week of our Thanksgiving Jamboree. So thank you, Allie, for sticking with me here each week. It's definitely been fun, but I think it's time to get started on our episode.
Yes, it has. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to the final session of our Thanksgiving Jamboree celebration. Let me introduce myself for those of you who are joining us this week. I am Mariana, the producer of Darren Daily and Darren Daily On Demand. I cannot believe how fast this month has gone by, and I hope that it's because of the old adage that says time flies when you're having fun, because these live sessions, they've been fun, right? More than fun, they've been inspiring and enlightening and impactful. Definitely because of the amazing insights that Darren has shared, but mostly because of the responses that we get from you each week. The impact that you've shared that these jam sessions are having on you is so powerful. That's why Darren agreed to do these each week this month exclusively for you. You, our community, are our priority. I think you can tell that from the thankful gratitudes that we shared earlier today. We show up here on the A-Team each day and we put our hearts and souls into what we do for you to help you reach new levels of success, to change your life and the lives of those you influence. So thank you for striving to be better every day. Okay, without further ado, it is time for me to bring on the man of the hour. Good morning, Darren. How are you doing today? Oh, we can't hear you. Hold on one second. There we go. Let's try this again. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning. Okay, great. Hey, before we get started, I just wanted to say I heard all those wonderful things that the A-Team said at the beginning there. That was already got me teared up. You're messing up my mojo here this morning, but I also got this beautiful book in the mail from the kids of the A-Team, and they all did these beautiful drawings inside, which are just spectacular. So I just wanted to say thank you. This is just amazing, and I love the end quote here about leadership in the COVID era. So anyway, just really grateful. Just wanted to say thank you. Maybe some of the kids are watching. Thank you for your hard, beautiful artwork here. I will cherish this. Thank you.
We all had fun doing that. I know Rose did. She had a blast coloring you as a hero. All right. Well, we have some great questions lined up for the final week. So let's go ahead and get started. Our first guest this morning is Darren Daily member Nick Kesey. Let me bring him on. Good morning, Nick. How are you doing this morning? Oh, I think we're losing you here.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
There we go.
Good to be here.
Awesome. Well, why don't you tell us where you're joining us from and then share your question with Darren?
I think it broke up a little bit there, but I think I was asked to share my question. My question is, Darren, I've had the most successful year so far in my business this year. I'm very thankful for that. Sometimes I still struggle, though, because I have huge goals. And even though I'm having success towards those goals, I still feel miles and miles away sometimes. So how do high achievers balance having shorter term successes towards their big goals, then also still balancing that aspect of being hungry and not being satisfied?
Okay, Nick. Yes, fine, sir. You have what is called the disease. You know, that striving drive to be great. So I was asked in an interview one time, you know, what is greatness? And I think that this will help you and help pretty much everybody here within the Better Everyday community understand yourself, to know that you are not alone, that in fact, we created this to be your home, that you finally are amongst like-minded friends. So greatness is a drive. It's a pursuit. It's an unstoppable, all-consuming striving for better. Some would call it passion, but I wouldn't. I don't even really like that word. I think it's overused, and this is different. You see, passion is an emotion, so that it wanes, it's temporary, it's fleeting. So like all emotions, it actually comes and goes, it ebbs and flows. But the kind of drive that you're talking about, that I'm talking about here, is what's called obsession. An obsession is a fixation. It's an unwavering, relentless drive. You see, obsession is it's a persistent desire, one that is all-consuming, one that dominates most all of your thoughts and feelings, whether you're driving, whether you're in the shower, whether you are taking a walk in the woods, right? Most every person that you would say who has achieved some level of greatness was obsessed. It took more than passion. It took an unrelenting obsession to achieve their impact. I mean, people like Abraham Lincoln, that dude was obsessed, right? Theodore and Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt, all three of those, obsessed. Martin Luther King Jr., he was obsessed. Winston Churchill, Nelson Mandela, all obsessed. Then you look at people like Michael Jordan or Tom Brady or Michael Phelps or Serena Williams or Muhammad Ali or Wayne Gretzky. All these people were obsessed. And then you go way back to Michelangelo and Picasso and Da Vinci and Frank Lloyd Wright. All of them obsessed with that persistent drive to strive for better. So people who have that drive, that obsession, have a fire inside that rages within, a fire that cannot be tamed, nor do you or do I or do they ever want it extinguished. We want more from life, more than others around us seem to want from their life. So yes, Nick and everybody else here, we dare to desire to be great. So all I could tell you, Nick, is that what you are feeling is normal for people like us. You will always be discontented. I'm sorry to tell you. You will always have that drive to strive for more until they put you in the ground and throw dirt on your face. It's just part of your engine. There's too much new age mumbo jumbo about detachment and contemplating your navel and trying to transcend this earthly plane. I think a lot of that is just mental masturbation. I mean, we might be spiritual beings having a human experience, but that also means we are supposed to be having that human experience. I mean, how tragic is it that as a spiritual being who desires to experience what it is like to be human, spends their whole human existence not having a human experience? They spend it trying to be spiritual. I think it's nuts to me. This is why I resonated so well with Jim Rohn. When asking him, what is the purpose of this life? He said, quote, "The purpose and goal of this grand adventure is productivity. To see what all you can do with all you have been given. To stretch yourself, to go for more, to grow, to climb the ladder and reach for those things on the high shelf of life." So Nick, I know your drive. Your obsession can sometimes feel like a curse because you are perpetually discontented, but it is also the greatest blessing you could have ever been given. So many people lack drive. They lack desire. They lack the hunger to do what it takes to push, to prod, to poke themselves to become more than their upbringing, more than their current starting circumstances, or even more than the culture around them would ask of them. Your drive to be great is a magnificent gift. Use it as a force for good. And yes, enjoy the journey as much as you possibly can along the way. Yeah, take a second, smell the roses. Celebrate the victories, have the champagne shower, right? Hug your family every day. Rest and recover. Then keep going out there and kicking butt. The world needs your greatness. It needs your drive to make a positive impact. So, welcome to the family, Nick. Back to you, Mariana.
That's awesome. Thanks. Gosh, great question. I think I wrote down, we dare to desire to be great. Okay, that one has to go in the annals of Darren quotes for the record. But, it's great to hear that obsession is okay, because sometimes people feel like it's a bad thing. So for this community, obsession is good. Dare to be great and grow and enjoy the human experience. So we have a great question next from Darren Daily member Dan McPherson. Let me bring Dan on this morning. Good morning, Dan. How are you doing?
Good morning. Very well. And you?
Good. Tell us where you're joining us from and then share your question with Darren.
I'm joining you from Stratford, Ontario, Canada. First, thanks to the A-Team for this forum. And I also want to thank Darren for, after insane productivity, I went from an employee to a consultant for the same company plus other companies, and changed actually my whole life. So thank you very much. My question is, my thirst for personal growth is tremendous, and I spend many enjoyable hours pursuing it. What I struggle with is I'm living in a world, family and friends, that many are living a life, I guess, rather than designing one. Is it possible to navigate through, or how do you navigate through continue life of improvement without preaching and influence without sacrificing?
Yeah, it's a great question. And, the quick answer is yes, you can. I mean, I'll just take myself, for instance. I mean, nobody in my family, nobody in my wife's family, most often my own wife, except for she's watching Darren Daily live. None of them really ever watched Darren Daily. None of them ever participated in any of my programs. Never anybody, rarely have they ever sat in my keynote speeches or the rest of it. They don't participate in the personal growth and development like I do in my own family, right? So even the friends in my life, I have over time had to select them through, meaning weed them out. Jim Rohn talks about associations and its powerful, powerful influence. So I have been very diligent about limiting very vigorously some associations, disassociating from lots of people over the time, and then expanding my associations with those people who are amazing and awesome human beings who elevate me to levels that I could never have reached on my own. So it has to be a selection process. And when it comes to your own family and the other people that you grew up with, the people in your community, on your block, in your neighborhood, just understand this, that everybody's on their own path. In my younger years, I was far more dogmatic about things, that if others weren't a certain way, the way I thought they should be, of course, it made them weak or less than. I don't see it that way anymore at all. Everybody's on their own journey. We're all walking down our own path, and you never know what somebody else's journey is about. I mean, each of our lives is like a movie. Some people, when they go to the movies or they pull up Netflix, they like action adventures. And that's kind of the life that they choose as well. Or some like thriller and suspense. Some people like rom-coms. Some people like tragic comedies. And some people like horror flicks. Is one better than another? Well, if you're just selecting a movie, no, it's just a matter of opinion. They all can be great experiences. Just like all those, depending on your perspective of an experience, can be enriching, completely engaging life experiences. Every life experience is really just a matter of opinion, and they can all be great. So why would we purposely go out and see a horror movie? Or go see a movie where we know somebody's going to die of cancer. Or go see a movie where we know a child is going to be killed. Or people are going to be murdered. See, those are all just experiences of somebody's movie. You just want to let people live out their movie without your critical review. Your greatest pain, your greatest frustration and difficulties with others will always stem from you trying to get everybody else to be how you think they should be. And that's not only not fair or wise, it will only cause you pain and constant discomfort. So you want to grow past that. Another thing is all you can do is to be an example. Be the best star in your movie that you possibly can. Then you might just do as Rocky did. or Indiana Jones or Luke Skywalker or Forrest Gump did for others. Inspire them to be a better character in their own movie. So I hope that gives you a little something to go on, like let people live out their lives without your critical review or judgment, and just be the best hero of your movie that you possibly can be. And those that are ready to be inspired will be inspired by your example. And that's all that you can do. And love everybody else around you just the same, regardless of their movie selection and whether you agree with it or not. They're having their journey. They're picking their movie. They are creating their own adventure by all the choices they're making all along the way. This is their choice. This is their journey. This is the movie that they are playing in their life. Just let them love it and love them as a human being along the way. So that's what I got to say. Back to you, Mariana.
Wow. So that's a lesson that I have struggled with for a long time. But I can attest to the be your own star, because that's what I've been living very strongly this year, being my star in my health journey. And it's amazing how it affects in little ways the people around me. And so proof is in the pudding. But yes, I like the concept of being my own movie star. I think I can handle that. So, all right. So the next question is from Toby Sharp. He couldn't be here with us today, so I'll be asking his question on his behalf. Toby's question for you, Darren, is, as we settle into our new normal, what is the secret to sustaining high energy and motivation to be able to motivate and inspire the people around us?
So, Jim Rohn was once asked in a panel discussion during a seminar, Mr. Rohn, how do you stay so motivated all the time? You always just seem so motivated all the time. And Jim Rohn laughed and he says, well, I go to all these seminars. And, I think that's the answer is if you stay in an environment that in itself is very motivating, you will stay motivated. You see, as I started to mention with Nick's answer, there are two very powerful influences in our lives, and these will literally be shapeshifters for your entire heroic journey. And these are the ones that you want to pay rigorous attention to, okay? And if you were taking notes, write these two down. The first one is input. It's kind of like how you train AI or neural networks. If you're training AI or neural networks, you feed it. It's kind of like what's happening on YouTube, happens on the social. You're feeding it what it is that you want it to train to look for. You're giving it input. And then based on what you feed that neural network, it will train the AI on what then to go look for more. So if you feed it only catastrophe news, if you feed it danger, it will search the world over to find more of that. And what's interesting is it won't even see the other billion things that are happening in the world. You are training it to only see and find catastrophe. Your brain works exactly the same way. As you feed your internal neural network, if you're feeding it catastrophe, danger, drama, crisis, it will go out in the world through the billions of possible things that it is in its environment, and it will only find those things that are more catastrophe, more dangerous, more drama, more crisis, and so forth. If you haven't seen the Social Dilemma that's on Netflix, I encourage you to do so. And it's the reason why these platforms have become so toxic and harmful, the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the YouTubes of the world. Because what it does is it feeds us something to look at. And if we look at it, then it will feed us more of that. The thing about the human attention span is that we are 10 times more attracted to something that is danger, crisis, or negative. Part of our human survival system is to be on threat alert, right? That's how we got to be alive today, is that we have this great threat alert system. So we're constantly on alert to look for things that are dangerous or threatening. Well, news media, social media, these platforms know that about our attention. And if our attention is the thing that they are after, that is what they will show you. And if you click on one of it, it'll show you more of that. And then all of a sudden, your world gets painted with nothing but crisis and danger and negativity. And your now new perception of the world is that it's just filled with crisis and danger. Yet we are living in the greatest time to be alive in all of human history, but nobody knows that based on the world that they see around them. So understand that you think that you are looking for what it is that you want, right? That's what attracts our attention. But let me give you, for instance, if you're driving down the freeway and there's a car crash, and it's a ugly, murderous, horrible situation there, you will look. Well, YouTube goes, oh, they must like that. They must like more of that. Feed more of that. Feed more of that. So you think that you're being selective with your attention, that it's only feeding you what it is that you want. But I guarantee you, it's optimized for your attention. And what gets your attention is danger, threat, and alert. And so it will give you more of that, which is the reason why we become so polarized and the reason why everybody thinks that the world's going to hell in a handbasket when we're living in the time of greatest opportunity we've ever seen in human history. And this is how, on those platforms, conspiracy theories rose to the top, even to rational human beings. So we all think that's the way the world's going, but it's not. So I would just say, be very careful what it is that you are feeding your neural network. Your brain is a massively powerful system. Social media normalizes narcissism, normalizes attention whoring, contrast shame. Movies and entertainment can normalize violence. Games, these first-person shooter games, can normalize committing violence. Everything habituates. If you go, nah, those don't have an effect on me long term, we teach in goal setting that if you just visualize yourself. Like before I do a keynote, I visualize myself doing the keynote. And the brain can't distinguish between my imagination, my projected visualization, and actual reality. Do you understand that? We teach it in the positive way. In goal achieving, the brain cannot distinguish between an imagined vision and its actual reality. So if you imagine yourself performing at a high level, it actually gains confidence that you can, and then when you go into reality, it actually performs at a higher level. So we teach it in the positive. Well, here's what you need to know. It also works in the negative. If you're feeding it negative, you're like, oh, but that's just movies, that's just entertainment, that's just games. I am telling you, it is normalizing that type of behavior, those types of images, that type of reality for you. The brain doesn't know the difference between imagined and actual. So what do you do with this? With input, you want to limit or eliminate your exposure to the purposefully news pornography, the negative and the oppressive input. You want to then also expand your exposure to the positive, to the hopeful, to the abundant input that's out there, the possibility, the new ideas, the things that stimulate your creative capabilities. This is why I provide Darren Daily, so that every morning you've got that positive spark to orient your eyes and mind to go seek out in the world what's possible, what's hopeful, what the potential is out there, so that then you will see it. You will find it if it is first oriented in the morning. It's the reason why Mariana and I work so hard on Darren Daily On Demand, so that you have that constant fuel throughout the day to keep your mind attuned to what's possible, what's hopeful. And people think it's crazy, but I watch every Darren Daily after I have already written and produced it and edited it and all the rest of it every morning, because I want to attune my mind every morning. My wife will attest to you. Every morning I sit next to her and watch my Darren Daily. I listen to every episode on Darren Daily On Demand. Every single episode. I have downloaded every episode we've ever produced on my phone, and on my walks or in my workout, I listen to every Darren Daily On Demand episode. And I'm not doing it to learn. I'm doing it to remind my mind and to marinate my brain on continuing to feed my neural network of what's possible, what's positive. We all need a fueling station. Okay, that's number one. Number two are those associations. We are a social tribe species. We are a monkey see, monkey do species. We mimic each other, whether you know it or not. We have massive unconscious influence over each other. We mimic, we come to understand ourselves, the world around us, by observing those around us. So, to remind you one last time here, it is why I decided to deliver the Hero's Journey live. I'm doing it for my team, for myself, so that we can travel through the journey with you, so that we can continue to have these inputs feeding our neural networks all through 2021. And even if you don't care about the skill development of leadership or the skill development of influence, just the immersion of input that you will be bathed in all year long will have massive consequences in what you can create in the world in 2021. And then the associations, the unbelievable league of badass leaders and achievers that have already come together to be part of this hero's journey, their influence on you in unconscious and subtle ways will be massive to what happens in your life, consequentially, 2021 and beyond. So just understand that you rise or fall to the level of your associations. You want to rise up from where you are, not, the situation always is not a what problem. It's always a who problem. Who do you need to get around? What like-minded, like ambition, like behavior associations do you need to get around? So, hey, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow. You're running out of time if you want to be part of this founding group. Soon you won't be able to get in because we will close it out. All I can do is promise you that if you miss it, you will miss one of the greatest opportunities of your life. I mean, give yourself a Thanksgiving gift and enroll yourself into the hero's journey. This is the type of input and the type of associations that you need to get yourself to the next level in life. Wherever you are, wherever it is that you want to go. I promise this is the league of achievers you want to be around. Okay, back to you, Mariana.
Wow. Okay. So if you need one for your notes this morning, everyone needs a fueling station. I really like that. That's a great way to think about it. Now, I mean, I'm totally for the plug for watching Darren Daily and that being your fueling station every morning, and Darren Daily on demand as well, because man, that definitely needs to be part of your routine and your positive input. Okay, Darren, I have one final question for you today, which totally seemed appropriate to end our Thanksgiving Jamboree with. It's a fun Thanksgiving themed question. This one was submitted by Julia Herr, and she wants to know, what is your favorite Thanksgiving food to eat?
Okay, great question. Yeah, that's easy. My wife over there said, well, that's easy. No, it's not Chateaubriand. It's not filet mignon. If I were on death row and I had one last meal before I died, my meal would be turkey, mashed potatoes, and cranberry sauce. I call it the big three. You can keep your stuffing. I don't eat bread. I don't know why anybody wants to eat the bread when they got all that scrumptious, juicy turkey sitting there, and the garlic-infused mashed potatoes with a little bit of gravy, if I can add a 3.5 to the big three, and that cranberry sauce, the perfect bite. I mean, the rich, juicy protein with the creamy garlic infused, and then the little bit of sugar. Oh, Jesus, that just is delectable. I'm so excited. I told my wife, go find the biggest bird you possibly can. She's like, but it's just gonna be you, me, and my sister. I'm like, yes, I want a week's worth of leftovers. I can eat the turkey leftovers every single meal. My wife will attest this, morning, noon, and night, for weeks on end. I told her she's gonna go buy another big frozen turkey while they have them out there before Thanksgiving, just so we have one as backup, so that as soon as we kill the first bird, that we've got another one to eat through Christmas. And then she does another bird at Christmas as well. So anyway, it's a long answer to give you the, yes, I eat the traditional turkey meal. And the problem is most people don't know how to roast a great turkey. My wife is amazing. She got her recipe from Brenda, by the way, who is on our A team. And she gives it a golden bath of champagne. And maybe I can coax Brenda to share her famous recipe, because it is traveled all throughout the A team and probably all over the world. So I can't wait. It's been my favorite day of the year since I was a kid. It's always a special time. This is the time that I always shared with my dad. No matter where I was in the world, I'd always made it back home to be with my dad on Thanksgiving. He made a big deal out of it. We'll always start off with a little, if you're wondering what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to start off with a little Tanqueray and tonic for cocktails. My dad's famous drink. We got a great bottle of wine provided by our friend Sid Pagatapati for dinner. I mean, it's just, it's stupid how amazing and generous that Sid and the wine that he sent us is. And then a little pumpkin pie and whipped cream, little extra treat for the day. And getting freaking hungry just thinking about it. Before I turn it back to you, Mariana, I'd like to end this Thanksgiving Jamboree with a little heart to heart. I know that it seems like it's been a tough year. but there's still so much to be thankful for. We really do live in the greatest time of all of human history. I mean, in the overwhelm of the news and information deluge about the worst of what's happening, we often lose sight of the miracle of this moment in history. I mean, it wasn't long ago that as a species, we had to toil for 80 hours a week just to survive, just to get access to food, water, and shelter. And that life was hard. This one, not so much. I mean, all of us, and I'm talking about us as a species, your individual circumstance might be different, but as a species, all of us are wealthier by almost every account today than those of the richest people in the world back in John D. Rockefeller's day. Back in John D. Rockefeller's heyday, in 1895, the average person in the Western world lived on less than $1 a day. That's translated in today's money. That is less than the United Nations criteria for extreme poverty right here in this country. Nearly everybody was living in poverty in 1895 and was suffering everything that went along with that. The terrible mortality rate in childbirth, the high death rate for babies in the mother, your chances of reaching old age was extremely low. I mean, think about this. A little more than 100 years ago, most people didn't have toilets, let alone the toilet paper that you were fighting over at Costco. They didn't have air conditioning or central heating. They didn't have a refrigerator. So try living for a week with no pressurized water, no toilet, no shower, no air conditioning or heat, and no refrigerator. Just because everybody has one of those now does not mean it's not a big freaking deal. If Rockefeller wanted to go from the East Coast to London, it would take him 5 days by ship. You can do it in under 7 hours and for about the same price. And Rockefeller didn't have radio, television, antibiotics, didn't have rock and roll, the internet, the iPhone, Amazon same-day shipping, or Siri or Alexa to bark orders at. So by almost every statistic that you can look at, if you are barely in the middle class today, you are living larger than the biggest baller in all of history, John D. Rockefeller. Yet only 6% of Americans think that the world is getting better. That means more Americans, more than 6%, believe in fortune tellers, Bigfoot, reincarnation, and that chocolate milk comes from brown cows, and the earth is flat, and Democrats drink children's blood and are a cabal of Satan-worshipping pedophiles running a global sex trafficking ring and plotting against the United States. Far more believe all that than believe in the progress of our human species. But in all rational, concreted data, there has never been a better time to be alive. Every statistic verifies it. There's never been a safer, healthier, more prosperous, or more equal time. Whether you believe that or feel that or not, in all of human history than right freaking now. Can we do better in every one of those statistics? Hell yeah. But right now is the best we've ever been. Poverty, malnutrition, illiteracy, child labor, and infant mortality are all falling faster than at any time in history. The risk of being caught up in a war, subjected to a dictatorship, or of dying in a natural disaster is smaller than ever. In 1981, only 40 years ago, only half of the world's population had access to safe water. 91% now do. That means that 285,000 more people have gained access to safe water every day for the past 25 years straight. Over the last 4 decades, extreme poverty has decreased from 37% to 9.6%, dropping more than 2/3 and into single digits for the first time in history. Since the Cold War ended, global economic wealth, or GDP per capita, has increased almost as much as it did during the preceding 25,000 years combined. In the US alone, median income for low and middle income households has increased by more than 30% since 1970. And this does not account for all the advances that you can't even put a price on, like advances in medicine, in the freaking internet, right? Mass entertainment, cleaner air and water, and an extra 10 years of life expectancy. So in almost every way, human beings today lead more prosperous, safer, and longer lives. And here's the important point to remember. This, right now, as every second ticks off the clock, today, as I sit here talking with you, this is the golden age. So my last question for all of you is something to write down in your Darren Daily Journal. Are you making the most of this golden era? Are you really going for it? Are you taking full advantage of the greatest time to be alive in all of humankind history? Look, we're playing a high stakes game here. This is a one and done experience, baby. I mean, you only get one life to do everything you've ever wanted to do, and then it's game over. So if you think you have time, I assure you, you do not. Time is running out. The fuse on your life is burning down. You never know when that fuse is going to run out and your light goes out. So time is running out to be the person you've always wanted to be, to make the difference and the impact that you seek to make, to produce the work that you want to put out into the world, to leave the legacy that you so desire. You need a new sense of urgency to hurry up and face down your fears, to step into your courage, to commit to greater excellence and do your bravest work. So, not after the new year. Now's the time to get in great shape, to get out of debt, to eliminate excuses, to become financially free. It's time to dare mighty things. So, I'd say also it's time to answer your call to adventure. Be ready to head off onto your hero's journey with us January 5th, 2021. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We are here to love and fight for you every workday. My A-team and I are so proud to be your guide along this journey. And so back to you, Mariana, to put the end to our Thanksgiving Jamboree.
Wow, Darren, you gave us a lot to chew on, not just turkey tomorrow, but a lot to think about and a lot to be grateful for. So, okay, everyone, that brings our Thanksgiving Jamboree to a close. No more. On behalf of Darren and the A-team and myself, I just want to say again, thank you. I know I've said it lots of times as the month has gone by, but I just got to say it again. We do what we do every day here because of you. You inspire us, you motivate us to be achievers and work harder each and every day to make an impact on your life so that you can make an impact on other people. So thank you for showing up here for these live sessions, and thank you for watching Darren Daily every day. We'll be right back here tomorrow morning with a very special Thanksgiving Darren Daily, so don't forget to watch it before your turkey coma sets in. And I hope that everybody has a fantastic holiday.